Welcome back. If you're hearing this right now, maybe your heart has just walked through a storm. Maybe you've tried so hard, and you're still tired. Or maybe you're just searching for one more reason to believe that you're not alone, that somehow every pain still carries a meaning. Don't leave, because what's about to be said isn't just about astrology. It's about you, the soul that has endured so much and somehow is still standing. There are people who are born to fight, and there are those who are born to bring light. You, the one carrying the energy of Aries, might just be both. And before you understand why life has tested you so deeply, take a breath and listen. Because what the universe is about to whisper is not just a warning, it's an awakening. A message for the heart that still dares to love, to feel, and to quietly burn with its sacred fire. Welcome back. If you're hearing this right now, maybe your heart has just walked through a storm. Maybe you've tried so hard, and you're still tired. Or maybe you're just searching for one more reason to believe that you're not alone, that somehow every pain still carries a meaning. Don't leave, because what's about to be said isn't just about astrology. It's about you, the soul that has endured so much and somehow is still standing. There are people who are born to fight, and there are those who are born to bring light. You, the one carrying the energy of Aries, might just be both. And before you understand why life has tested you so deeply, take a breath and listen. Because what the universe is about to whisper is not just a warning, it's an awakening. A message for the heart that still dares to love, to feel, and to quietly burn with its sacred fire. There are souls who are born carrying a different frequency, and you are one of them. Since you were a child, the world has told you that you were too strong, too impulsive, too emotional. What they never knew is that behind that too much lives a heart made to feel deeper, love harder, and hurt more honestly. You don't just live, you experience life through every cell, every heartbeat, every breath. Each joy feels like a burst of light, and each sorrow becomes a sacred engraving on your soul. No one sees the nights you sit quietly in the dark, staring at a distant place without knowing why the emptiness feels so heavy. No one hears the sighs you hide behind your smile. They only see the strength, not the storms you've survived to stand where you are today. And that's why, when you love, you never do it halfway. You dive in, burning, giving, believing. And when love breaks, it's not just your heart that hurts. The fire inside you trembles, almost fading, and then ignites again. You've carried people who never carried you. You've saved others from the edge only to fall yourself, with no one there to catch you. And yet, even after all the pain, you still choose to believe. You still choose to love. You still choose to begin again, because your instinct is rebirth. You weren't born to surrender to fear, you were born to prove that a human heart can walk through ruins and still remain kind. Every time you fell, you learned something new about strength. Every time you cried, you learned something new about compassion. Others may only see your resilience, but deep inside, you know how many storms your spirit has weathered, storms most could never imagine. The universe chose you not because you are perfect, but because you dare. You dare to love, to lose, to rise, and to change. Think back to all the moments you thought you wouldn't make it, and yet you did. Those tears were never wasted. They watered the soil of your soul, teaching you empathy, patience, and the truth that kindness is never weakness. That's why, in a world filled with noise, your silent courage has become its own kind of light. People assume you're strong because you fear nothing, but the truth is, you do fear. You just keep walking forward, even with a trembling heart. That is true bravery. And that quiet courage is what makes you beautiful, not loud, not fleeting, but steady, profoundly human. Sometimes, in the stillest moments, when you look into the emptiness, you may feel a gentle understanding rise within you. Everything that ever hurt you was really teaching you how to love yourself better. The universe never wanted to break you, only to awaken you. And when that realization begins to bloom, something miraculous happens. The rain inside you stops, and the sky within you starts to clear. In that soft light, subtle signs begin to appear, whispers only the heart can hear. The quiet language of the soul, marking the beginning of another chapter, one that leads you deeper to the place where your fire no longer burns just to survive, but to illuminate those who have lost their way. There are people born under the same sky, yet their fire burns in completely different ways. For Aries, that fire carries 3 distinct rhythms, 3 paths of the same soul, 3 journeys through flame, to learn, to hurt, to finally understand itself. Those born in late March carry the energy of Mars, the true warriors. They love as if going into battle, unarmed and unguarded. To them, love is never a game, it's a mission. They throw themselves into it with faith, with the belief that love can conquer anything. But when betrayed, they don't break, they ignite. Their anger burns fiercely, yet never cruelly. Inside that blaze lives a child who just wants to be loved safely, who longs for a pair of arms that feel like home. But life, as always, teaches them something else: self-reliance, the art of becoming their own safe place. And once they learn that, they stop being merely fighters. They become protectors not only of themselves, but of every fragile soul that crosses their path. Then there are those born in early April, the children of the Sunday. They carry warmth, idealism, and an unshakable faith in the goodness of people. They see the world through the lens of hope and love with the brightness of their spirit. But when reality fails to match their light, when love is met with dishonesty, their hearts shatter not just from pain, but from losing faith in the beauty they once believed in. They don't cry for what happened. They cry for what could have been. And in those tears, a new light begins to rise, the light of awakening. They realize that not everyone can see the sun the way they do. So they begin to shine, not to be loved, but to guide others who have lost faith in love itself. And then come those born in mid-April, under the gentle rule of Venus. They are not the warriors, nor the dreamers, they are the healers, empathetic to the core, so sensitive that even a single sad glance can echo inside them. They ask for no thanks, seek no recognition. They love quietly, lift others up, and then step back into the shadows. But their empathy often costs them. They carry the sorrow of the world, the pain that isn't theirs to bear. Until one day, they finally understand even kindness needs boundaries. That to save others, they must first learn how to save themselves. 3 flames, 3 paths, yet all lead to one truth. The fire that once burned them is the same fire that makes them shine. Pain was never meant to destroy, it came to teach what only brave souls can understand. That heartbreak is the doorway to wisdom, because when a heart burns, what remains is the purest essence of the soul. If there's one thing all Aries share, it's the power of rebirth. After everything, they still choose to love, to trust, to begin again. And with each new beginning, they move closer to the light. Maybe you listening right now are walking that path too. A journey where your fire is no longer an enemy, but a guide. And when that understanding starts to dawn, something soft begins to unfold inside you. In the middle of the storm, there's a quiet space, a calm heartbeat where you realize that everything that ever hurt you is slowly transforming into light. And from that sacred stillness, your soul begins to hear a new lesson, one that doesn't come from the battle, but from peace itself, where the fire no longer seeks to win, it simply longs to understand. There are pains that don't come to break you, but to awaken you. When seen through the eyes of the spirit, suffering is not punishment, it's purification. Because the soul of Aries wasn't born just to live, but to learn how to stand inside the fire and still keep a gentle heart. You came into this world to master the sacred art of endurance, to burn without bitterness, to love without losing yourself, to rise again without the need for revenge. Every Aries walks through 3 sacred fires. The first, the fire of Mars, teaches survival. In the storms of early life, you learned how to save yourself. You've known what it means to be left behind, to fight with no one beside you. And from that emptiness, courage was born not from force, but from the deep knowing that no one can rescue you but you. And when you survive, when you refuse to give up, you also discover compassion. Because those who have survived pain know how to see the pain in others. The second fire, the light of the sun, teaches faith. There are times when life tests you with silence, with dreams that collapse, with people you trusted who turned away. In those moments, Aries learns that faith is not believing things will be easy. Faith is walking forward when you can't see the road. The light of the sun is your most subtle power. It teaches you to find light even in the darkest night. And when you lift your head, it's not the sun shining on you. It's you becoming the sun for yourself. And then there's the third flame, the softness of Venus, the greatest lesson of all, compassion. After so much fighting, after so many heartbreaks, Aries learns to love without control, to give without needing to be seen, to be kind without explanation. You understand that goodness doesn't need to prove itself, it just needs to exist. You no longer crave to win, you crave to understand. And in that understanding, your heart softens, grows quiet, but shines brighter than ever. The greatest strength of an Aries soul is not resilience, it's the ability to love again, even after knowing what pain feels like. When someone has cried every tear, burned through every heartbreak, and still chooses to love, they've crossed beyond astrology. They're no longer just an Aries of the stars, they've become an Aries of the soul. Someone who knows that every challenge carries a message from the universe, that no fire burns you without leaving behind light. And if you're hearing these words with a wound still open in your heart, let it rest. Because when your soul is ready, that pain will bloom into a flower. And in its fragrance, you'll finally understand why you had to go through it all, to become gentler, to feel gratitude for life, and to look at someone else and say, I understand you, because I've been there too. In that moment, something miraculous happens. You stop asking why things happened. You simply smile and know you are being guided. From the soft light of acceptance, something sacred begins to rise, a quiet, powerful energy, like the arms of the universe wrapping around you, reminding you that you were never alone. And from that stillness, your soul begins to hear a new sound, the sound of protection, of faith, and the gentle knowing that no matter how many storms return, your light will always find its way home. Sometimes, in the longest nights when everything has fallen silent, when only the faint breath of your soul remains and the warmth of memory begins to fade, you think you're all alone. But in truth, it's in that exact moment of deepest loneliness that something sacred is happening. The universe has never taken its eyes off you. Even when you believed you were abandoned, invisible hands were lifting you up softly, quietly, like moonlight resting on the shoulders of a traveler after the storm. Everyone who has left your life, whether in tears or in silence, was part of a divine choreography your soul agreed to long before you came into this world. Every meeting, every promise, every heartbreak is one note in the grand symphony of your destiny. No one comes to hurt you without purpose, and no one leaves without leaving behind a lesson. What you call loss is often just the universe clearing space for what truly belongs to you. How many times have you asked, why me? Why must I carry so much? And every time, the universe simply smiles. Because it knows if there is any soul strong enough to turn pain into light, it's you. Those born under Aries energy never truly fall. They pause, to breathe, to heal, and then rise again with deeper eyes, softer hearts, and faith that reaches further than before. The scars you carry are not marks of defeat. They are proof that you have lived, that you have loved, risked, fallen, and risen again. Each scar is a small doorway, opening into a higher sky of understanding. In that space, you stop seeing life as punishment and begin to see it as a sacred journey in trust. The universe never sends trials to punish you, only to polish you, until your soul shines clear like a gem washed clean by the rain. And if you've ever cried until no tears were left, know this: someone, beyond the veil of light, heard you. Every prayer you whispered in the dark was not lost. They were gathered, nourished, and are now returning to you as opportunities, as encounters, as moments that seem accidental but arrive with perfect timing. Life never takes without giving back. Sometimes the universe simply wraps its gifts in the paper of difficulty, and when that truth begins to dawn, something in you shifts. You stop blaming, you stop fearing loss, because you understand everything that comes and goes carries meaning. You begin to feel the presence of something greater than yourself, a forgiving energy, light as air, yet strong as an underground river running through your heart. It helps you believe even when you cannot see. It brings you peace, even when nothing is certain. The angels of Aries don't wear white wings. They wear scars like you. They don't fly above the world, they walk through it, silent but radiant. They are you, the one who's been broken again and again and still finds another reason to love. The one who knows that even in darkness there is always a light waiting to be seen, and when you finally understand that, a door quietly opens. From behind the wound, another light begins to seep through. It's not blinding, it doesn't shout, it's a warmth, steady, quiet, spreading through your being, a whisper saying, "You are protected. You are being guided." And as you walk within that light, your soul begins to see deeper, to recognize meanings that only pain could once reveal. Behind every Aries tear lies a lesson written by the universe, one that few ever see. Every time you hurt, it isn't because you're weak. It's because your soul is being cleansed, washing away old memories, fading attachments, and past versions of yourself that no longer belong to who you're becoming. Just as a flame must burn to shine brighter, your soul must walk through its own fire to become pure. Not everyone can understand the pain of an Aries, because you don't just hurt for yourself. Sometimes, you cry for those who came before you, for the generations that never had a voice, for hearts that were forced to stay silent, for those who were never truly loved the way they deserved. Your soul was sent here as a key to break the old cycles, to end the inheritance of silence, and to begin an age of light. You are the bridge, the one chosen to end what wounded the past and open what can heal the future. So when you feel pain that seems unbearable, remember this: you are not falling, you are working for the light. You are learning to love without needing control, to forgive without waiting for an apology, to let go without losing faith. That is the path of great souls, the ones chosen to turn darkness into illumination. Sometimes, life teaches this lesson with a heavy hand. A friend you trusted turns away. A dream you built begins to crumble. A door you thought led to joy opens into an empty room. But inside that emptiness, something tender reveals itself. A quiet knowing that loss itself has created space for your growth, for a new way of seeing life. Pain does not destroy you, it refines you. Each tear is a prayer spoken in the secret language of the soul, and the universe hears every word. Sometimes, answers don't come as miracles, but as change the moment you stop running and sit with your pain, saying, "I understand, and I'm ready to learn." In that moment, pain ceases to be an enemy, it becomes a teacher. You are not too sensitive. You are not too much. You simply have a larger soul, one that loves deeper, feels wider, and sees what others miss. You weren't born to live on the surface. You were born to feel everything fully. And in a world growing numb with fear of vulnerability, your sensitivity is a gift. It allows you to touch what others overlook: a glance, a sigh, the breath of someone quietly breaking. You feel it all, and through that empathy, you heal others simply by being present. So let yourself soften, let your tears cleanse your eyes, lighten your heart, and give your soul room to breathe. You don't need to be anyone else. Just be who you already are, the one who still chooses to love, even after breaking, the one who still chooses to believe, even after losing faith. And if you can, share your story. Tell the moment that changed you, the one where your inner fire both burned and birthed you anew, because your story isn't just yours. Somewhere out there, in someone's darkest night, your words might be the first spark of light they see. And as that light spreads, you'll finally understand something deep and sacred, that everything that ever made you cry was only teaching you how to see the beauty within your own tears. And from that awakening, your soul opens like a quiet doorway, welcoming back something gentle and divine, something you once thought was gone, but has been waiting all along, just for you to recognize it. When all the tears have quieted, when the fire in your heart stops screaming, you begin to see what you've been searching for all along. Behind every pain, there is a field of peace waiting for you. That peace doesn't mean the absence of struggle. It's the calm that comes when you finally understand why you had to go through it all. After every fall, Aries rises again, not to prove strength, but to live as a soul that finally knows the value of light. You no longer fight to be seen, because now you are the light. Every scar becomes not a mark of suffering, but a chapter in the story of your rebirth. Every tear is no longer sorrow, it's a baptism of the soul, where darkness is washed away so that light can be born again. Once you burned just to survive. Now you shine to guide the way. Looking back, you'll see the very things that once broke you are the things that made you whole. The people who left taught you what it means to love yourself. The silences taught you how to listen, and the losses you thought would destroy you revealed a quiet strength you never knew you had. This is the moment when Aries stops chasing the fire, because you are the fire, not the kind that burns, but the kind that warms and illuminates. You begin to move slower, love deeper, and forgive easier. You no longer fear the past, because you understand everything that happened was a doorway to growth. You no longer resent those who hurt you, because you see they too were learning how to love, just like you. When an Aries soul truly heals, the world lights up again. Because your energy is the spark of beginnings. When you rise, you awaken others to rise too. Your power isn't found in never falling, it's found in rising again, each time softer, wiser, and brighter than before. The world doesn't need you as a hardened warrior. It needs you as a gentle flame, a candle lighting the night. When you learn to love yourself, you teach others how to love each other. When you learn patience, you show the world compassion. And when you choose forgiveness, you open the first door to peace itself. At the end of your journey, you'll realize the most precious thing you've gained isn't victory, it's wisdom born of kindness. Not the title of power, but the serenity of a heart at peace. You don't need to be dazzling to be seen. Just be true to the light within you. Because that light is what the universe gave you, and it's exactly what the world needs. Now, as dawn rises, so does your spirit. You're no longer the one who feared the dark, you're the one who understands that light and shadow are simply two breaths of the same life. You smile not because everything is perfect, but because you've made peace with everything, and in that smile, the world grows warmer. Thank you, brave soul of Aries. Thank you for never letting your fire go out, even when it flickered low. Thank you for choosing kindness, even after pain. May your flame always be warmth, never ash. May your strength always inspire, never harden. And may your heart, fierce yet gentle, always remember this truth. You are the dawn the universe has been waiting for. Namaste.